Dear students, welcome to online classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in computer science, gsipucmysuru College, Mysore. Students, in my last session, I had explained you about an array as a data member of a class, also array of objects. Now, in today's session, let me explain one more concept, that is object as a function argument. Students, at this stage you know what are functions. What are functions? Functions are nothing but a group of statements given one name and it does some specific work or task. And here, let me take an example now. Suppose if you write an example of a function void add. And here, this is one function with the parameter. Inside this, we have c equal to x plus by one statement. I am closing this. If you look at this, this is name of a function. This function has a parameter. This is, there are two parameters of data type int. X and y are two parameters. And here, so what the concept here is object as a function argument. If you look at this is called as an argument of a function. In this example, this is a variable. These two are variables. This is not an object of a class. So what is the meaning of object as a function argument? Suppose if I write a function, for example, if I say void add here, and here I am going to write the object as an argument here. For example, if I say A is a class of a class and their object is obj, and here we have a number of statements. So what is the concept here? The concept here is object as a function argument. Now you know what is a function. Functions, you can have functions with parameter or without parameter, and with return type, without return type. But in this example, if you consider as a parameter, these x and y, these two are parameters, but these two are not objects. These two are variables of data type int. If you look at this example, if you consider this example here, this is also a function add here, but in this one, parameter is nothing but an object of a class. This is object. If I say object here, this is name of a class, this is class name, and this is object name, nothing but user defined name. So if you write a function definition or a function argument, if a function like this, so this is the concept as object as a function argument. Now let me explain the same concept with one simple example. Students, last year in first year PUC already had learned about how to invoke a function. There are two methods of invoking a function in a program. They are, one is call by value method, and second one is call by reference method. These two are two methods or two types where we can invoke a function defined in a program or inside a class. I want you to recollect or just remember what you have learned last year about this call by value method. In this method, we had explained you with a program of interchanging the values of two variables, same program. So here in call by value method, already you know that in call by value method, this works with a copy of the data given. So as it call by value method, this function works with copy of the original data given. So once I work with the copy of the data, so it doesn't have any impact on original data. there is no impact or no effect on original data. So original data will be as it is. So here whatever the data you are going to enter, it will be copied to a variable declared in function parameter. So then if on the other side, if you look at call by reference method, in this method, it works with address of the object. It works with address of the object. As it works with address of the object, it works with original data. It works with original data. These concepts you already have learned in last year with a simple example of interchange the values of two variables or a program by swapping the values of two variables. Just I would like you to recall or recollect what you have learned in last year about this concept. Now let me explain with a simple program of call by value method. Let us take an example of addition of two numbers. Addition of two numbers with an example of call by value method. Call by value method. And the only difference between the program what I am going to write now and what you have learned last year is that in last year you had written this program with only one function, void main function. But in second year in this chapter, as this is a chapter based on classes and object. So this you are going to learn a program with the help of classes and object. Now let me write the same program once again. We start with hash include iostream.h hash include conio.h. Next we will declare the class addition, and inside this we have to define or declare class variables. Under private we write in A, B, C are the variables. Next under public, here we have to define or declare the functions. So here let me write functions void get data, and here int x comma int y semicolon, void compute function and void display, and we are closing the class with semicolon. So first step is declaration of or define a class. Next, what are the next steps? As you know that we have to write function definition of these functions. Now let me write the same thing here. We'll start with void addition, name of the class, and this is also an example of function definition outside a class. So here name of the function is get data, and here there are two variables parameters int x comma int y, and please observe here students, and here what we are going to do here inside this get data function, we have to assign the values x and y to the local variables a and b. So we say a equals to x and b equals to y. I'm closing this. Just you have to make a note of here at this stage. X and y are the variables declared for the function get data, and a and b are the variables. It is a class variable declared inside the class. So after this, we write one more function, void addition function is compute, and this is for calculation. C equals to A plus B. I am closing this. So this is one function. Next we have to write function definition of one more function, void display. So let me write here. For that, class name is void addition is the class name with 2 semicolons. Function is void display. Display, here we have to write C out, C equals variable C, closing this. So again, what is the next step here? Next step we have to write the main function, that is void main. So here void main is the main function, void main. Under this, clear screen. Next, we know what is the next step. First step here, first statement would be creation of an object of a class. So here class name is addition here. Addition is the class name. If I say A1 is the name of an object, this is nothing but user defined name. Now we have to call the function one by one. How do we call this? With the operator. Object name is A1 dot first function is get data. So here get data is a function, and here please observe student here, because this function has parameter. There are two variables here, int x and int y. So here is the place we are supposed to enter the values of variable x and y or a and b. So here in the same order 2, 3 and semicolon. Next, as usual, we have to call next function a1 dot compute function and a1 dot display, close this. So student, this is an example program for call by value method, and here I would like you to observe the only difference is that one is this program is based on classes and object, classes, class definitions and function definition and object here, and here observe this, here function addition, here get data, and here parameter. So this function get data has a parameter. So here when you observe this here at the inside the main function, we call here a1 name of an object and get data, and you have to give the value of two variables x and y, here 2, 3. So that is the meaning of is this value call by value method works with copy of the data. So this one, and now let me explain one more example for object as a function argument. Students, let me explain the concept object as a function argument with one more simple program. Hash include iostream.h hash include conio.h. Now let us define a class A. Under this I am going to declare variables under public actor specifier. Under this int n equals to 100, one variable, and character ch equals 1 value g. After this we have to write function for this. So let me write function void display. Students, please observe at this stage here, this is a function with the parameter, and in this example parameter is supposed to be an object of a class. So here what in this example name of a class is A. I'm going to write A space obj. Here obj is an object here, and it also a user defined name. So inside this I'm going to write statements cout n equals n endl cout character equals ch. Closing this, I am closing this with the semicolon. So this is end of a class. Next we are supposed to write main function. So under void main CLR SCR clear screen. Next step is we have to create an object of a class. So what is an object class is A here. A obj is an object, user defined name. What is the next step? Next step is we have to call these functions with the help of an object and with the help through an operator, dot operator. Now how do we call one by one here? Let now say obj dot. What is the function name? Function name is display. Obj dot display, and here this function has an object as a parameter. We are supposed to write object of a class. So here what is the object of a class here? Object is obj. So I say just obj and semicolon, and this is closing this main function. Just students observe this. This is a simple example to work with object as a function argument. Here as usual define the class. Under public I am declaring these two variables and function, and in the if you observe this function definition is written inside a class. So this is also an example for a function definition inside a class. Already you had learned in my previous session. And after this in the main function, first step is creation of an object, and here we have to call the functions with the help of object. Here itself obj is the name of an object, dot operator, name of the function is display. But here we have to write the object name here, because the in the function it has object as a parameter. We are supposed to write the object name. In this example obj is an object of a class A. So this is a simple example to show, or how to work with object as a function argument. Students, so in this session I had explained you about object as a function argument. So this ends the chapter 7 classes and objects. Hope you have understood the concept. So if you have any doubts related to this chapter, you can get back to us at any point of time. Thank you very much, students.